Going a little mainstream on stream on this record and climbing up on my fancy playlist. Fleetwood Mac's last top 40 hit on this fancy playlist, April 23rd, 1990. Save Me. Nice vocals by Christine McVie. She just, God, she sounds so great. I mean, she doesn't have the registers. She can't hit the highs. Doesn't have the range of, say, Mariah Carey or Whitney Houston or, say, even maybe Demi Lovato. But there's just something about her voice that's just so pleasing. It's just I can't nail it. I can't wax poetic about it because I can't come up with the words. Mr. DJ trying to be Shakespeare. At number 44, Fleetwood Mac with Save Me. Now, there's been some personnel changes in this band by then. I read a fantastic book about Stevie Nicks. New biography about Stevie Nicks. And boy, all I'm going to say is the relationship between her and Lindsey Buckingham, they had a great musical collaboration, but it was a tumultuous personal relationship. My goodness. And I don't know if I should mention this or not. I read an account in a book. Okay, here's the deal. Lindsey Buckingham and Stevie Nicks, they're recording backing vocals. They're doing backing vocals during the Rumors album, producing the Rumors album. Backing vocals of, it might have been You Make Love and Fun. That was a Christine McVie record, but they were doing backing vocals. And the narrative has it that Stevie Nicks turned to Lindsey Buckingham. She cussed him out. She said something like, F you, I want to keep this family friendly. I can't remember exactly what she said, but even if I do remember it, I couldn't repeat it here. But just to let you know that it was a very tumultuous relationship. By the time this album came out, Behind the Mask, from which Save Me came from, Lindsey Buckingham was not in the group. He was replaced by a couple of guys, very talented guitar players, but relatively obscure. Rick Vito and Billy Burnett. Oh my goodness! Now, still the regular members though. You still got John McVie, Mick Fleetwood. Stevie Nicks sings backing vocals on this record, and Christine McVie, she helms the lead vocal on this record. Um, Rick Vito, oh my goodness, I just found this out. I mean, these guys have been playing for years. Rick Vito, remember the slide, remember the slide guitar solo in Like a Rock by Bob Seger. It came out in the spring of 1986. It was a sort of melancholy looking back record. Like a Rock, but I'm still standing like a rock. Bob Seger. And they had that killer guitar solo. That was Rick Vito. He played on some of Bob Seger's albums from 1986 on. He toured extensively with Bonnie Raitt, and Bonnie Raitt is renowned for her skill with her proficiency on the slide guitar. Bonnie Raitt. Now, Billy Burnett. We got some rock and roll history, baby. He is the son of Dorsey Burnett. Dorsey Burnett, one of the early rockabilly singers, although his big hits, though, well, his biggest hit was Tall Oak Tree. Dorsey Burnett, 1960. Sort of a mainstream sounding record, not really a rockabilly record. And then he came out with Hey Little One, which I just put on my Spotify playlist, which was a rockabilly record, more of a rockabilly record. Now, Dorsey Burnett and his younger brother, Johnny Burnett. Now, you might remember Johnny Burnett. He did that song, You're 16, and then there was Dreaming in 1960. Well, Dorsey Burnett and Johnny Burnett, they teamed up. They wrote some killer records for the legendary Ricky Nelson. Yes, Ricky Nelson, baby. Talk about the sock hop years. They wrote Believe What You Say. Yeah, Ricky Nelson. That was a top 10 hit in 1958. And Johnny and Dorsey Burnett, they wrote It's Late by Ricky Nelson, one of my favorite Ricky Nelson records. It went to number 9 on Billboard's Hot 100. That record did in 1959. So to let you know that this guy came from this is a historic family. This is like almost like royalty. Dorsey and Johnny Burnett, and then we got Billy Burnett. Billy Burnett, the first time he appeared on a record, it was with Ricky Nelson. He was 7 years old. He sang with Ricky Nelson. It was on a record called "Hey Daddy, I'm Gonna Tell Santa on You." Yeah, Ricky Nelson, baby. The sock op years, 1954 through 1963, as defined by Mr. Deejay. He started putting out solo albums in 1972, Billy Burnett, but never had a major commercial success, though. He had some country songs, but they did not make top 40 on country. And but still, very talented guitar player. As a matter of fact, he played, or was it Rick Vito? One of them played in Mick Fleetwood's band called the Sioux back in the 80s. But here's the deal. Rick Fleetwood came up to Billy Burnett. He said, well, you know, Lindsey Buckingham left the band. He's gone, at least for the time being. And Mick Fleetwood asked Billy Burnett, how would you like to join Fleetwood Mac, become lead guitarist of Fleetwood Mac? And Billy Burnett said, well, look, Mick, I'm not going to join the group unless Rick Vito. Well, I'll join the group. I'll join your group as long as we can bring in Rick Vito, as long as Rick Vito becomes a member of the group. And so, well, Mick Fleetwood, he's a pretty generous guy. I mean, he took in both Lindsey Buckingham and Stevie Nicks, and you saw where that led to. Fleetwood Mac, that was in 1974, that just resuscitated Fleetwood Mac. And he brought these two guys in, and they're on this record, Save Me. And God, Fleetwood Mac start out as a blues band back in the 60s. Peter Green, remember Peter Green? And actually, he was considered a fantastic guitar player, up there with Eric Clapton at one time, but just fell apart psychologically later on. By the early 70s, first record I heard by Fleetwood Mac, Oh Well, 1969 here in the States. But Bob Welch, a member of Fleetwood Mac in the early 70s, and then 1974, Mick Fleetwood brought in Lindsey Buckingham and Stevie Nicks, and there you go. You got yourself some massive commercial success. All right, Save Me at number, I know I got off topic a little bit, but God, oh man. Fleetwood Mac was Save Me at number 44 on my fantasy playlist, April 23rd, 1990.